Hello and everybody, welcome here to the Cyber Gamer Studios Mark 1. Myself, Tobi Kenobi, and joining me is the amazing man from Denmark. It is Synd. We're actually inside this game here for the Balkan DOTA League. It is the grand finals, there's best of 5 going into it. MTT going up against GC, that's MTT from Romania going up against GC from Macedonia. MTT coming in with a 1-game advantage. Of course, the man you all want to hear speaking, you can't see him here, he could be this easier figurine, if we actually want to have him physically in the shot here. He's not Dro Ranger, she's mine. But yes, basically we do have the lovely man Synd. So Synd, let us hear that amazing Danish voice and take us through what we're actually looking at right now.
Yeah, hello everyone and welcome to the grand finals of the not the Bulgarian, that's just a part of it, the Balkan rank DOTA League Championships. This grand final we've got MTT as the Sentinel in this game playing against GC on the Scourge side. MTT up with a 1-0 advantage after winning the winners bracket final. This is going to be a best of 5, so we can see anything in between 2 and 4 games coming out of this one, as we've got the first bands on the road. Captain for, I was just about to say Team Blue, but let's call him Sentinel. We've got Come With Me is the captain for the Sentinel, and Boat is the captain for the Scourge, and we've taken Shaker, Bat Rider, Pugner, and Windrunner out of the pool so far, and yeah, pretty standard.
Yeah,
from my point of view, what's getting removed right now.
For the matches we've been casting over the past couple of weeks, it's just like, yeah, well, that is nothing out of the ordinary. ES though, like, there's sometimes pick, sometimes ban. I don't know if you managed to actually catch last night with a bit of a debacle of the banning and drafting period, where they basically just took out so many damn support heroes, there was nothing left in the end. And there was no support. But I did like to see ES play, but ES is now missing as well. So they have, of course, they have great other support heroes up for grabs, but instead they actually decided to remove Doombringer. Wow, I'm really going to have trouble actually pronouncing his name. I just want to call him Ice, the man in blue, the blue ice, the captain for the Sentinel side. Taking the first pick, of course, VS here, Synd.
Yeah, he was really fast on that one. It was obviously completely planned that they wanted to settle for that Vengeful Spirit if it was available. Not too long. Scourge isn't thinking too long either, so they pick up the Crystal Maiden and Enigma really quickly on the spot and response, wow, these guys, are these Balkan guys just really quick at picking or what? As Nevermore and Morphling already coming out of Come With Me, so they've already settled for their late game. 2 really strong agi carries already prepared for late game as GC have got their key supports, so 2 different approaches to picking right here, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure these guys know exactly what they want to go, and because the second you get the VS, you want to couple it with the SF4 as well, so this is going to stack that one to the absolute biatch. Interesting to see them actually go up with Morphling as well. I actually would have thought they would go complete more of a freaking stack and throw the Dro Ranger in there as the agi carry, instead just picking up the Morphling. Morphling, of course, being well, still a pretty damn solid pick throughout all the lineups. CG going straight with CM, Enigma, and Witch Doctor is their third, so 2 supports already up with 1 neutral, so 2 more carries to pick up for them. You're right, these guys aren't mucking around. Necrolite, NS, Silencer, all banned right now. Maybe that's all about, it's like it's late in the morning or early in the day. We want to kind of get through these best of 5 matches very, very fast. But yeah, at the moment, like I like the CG, the GC. Well, not CG, the GC lineup there, through their Sun's initiation. I do like the fact they actually pick up their support heroes / mid-game, or Initiator, Enigma, and then leave themselves open for those 2 carries at the end. It's a little bit of confidence, though, to think that the heroes actually won't get banned. How the hell did Broodmother get the last ban coming up here? That's, what the?
Yeah, and the question is if GC wouldn't perhaps want it for themselves, having Enigma solo the hard lane, putting Brood on a secondary one, and then perhaps tri-laning Crystal Maiden, Witch Doctor, and a large carry, and going for a bit of pushing power against this lineup from the Sentinel that don't really have any counter pushes. Shaker is banned, Alchemist is banned, so there could be some possibilities there, but they're removing the Broodmother themselves, letting Sentinel pick up the Tidehunter here. It's been a while since I've seen a Tidehunter played in a competitive match, actually. Apart from yesterday that you just covered with the LGD AU against Iran and China.
That's true. See, Synd does keep up with this Dota news.
But, well, looking at the Sentinel side right now, they've got the Gosh for minus armor, they've got the Howl from Vengeful Spirit for minus armor, as well as the Shadow Fiend Aura, so loads of minus armor coming out of that one with a Morphling on top, so GC need to make the decision now. Are we going to settle for taking this battle late game, or do we have to win it before? And I think if these guys want to win this one late game, they'd better pick up some really tough shit, because what the Sentinel have got right now can carry almost anything later on. So if GC see this opening, perhaps there's a chance of still getting some pushing heroes, even though Necrolite is banned Clever ban from the Sentinel, might I add. It was perfect for the Scourge lineup at the time. And you see, finally, one of the teams goes on and uses their extra time. Now it's time for thinking. They've picked up the standard shit and, oh, all right, perhaps right now we need to figure out what to do. So it will be interesting to see what GC come up with here. If they manage to lock down the Sentinel pretty well early, they might have an advantage, but they're getting the Draw Ranger, so if they're, checking this battle late game, they'll need more than Dro for this.
Yeah, I'm really not quite sure about Dro as well. Like, Dro, obviously, great TPS, great farming hero as well if you can get her up. But as far as she goes for this lineup, like, her silence is only going to go so far. So she's going to be basically pure DPS. They do, of course, have enough like stuns and disables going through the other 3 heroes at the moment. But yeah, the 5th one has to be a little bit more. Venomancer coming up here from MTT to actually come up to complete their lineup. So VS, SF, Morphling, Tidehunter, and VS. And Bane Elemental. Now, just, okay, 5th and final pick. Please explain this one for me.
Well, it's an interesting choice. Damn, now the picks just disappeared, so I'll have to drop down the scoreboard. A pretty clever pick, actually. Looking over the Sentinel heroes, perhaps it might be a little bit of an issue with that Morphling, but if you look at the Sentinel heroes, not much to cancel Bane's ultimate with. They've got Vengeful Spirit, then they've got a Tide ultimate, and they've got a Morphling Adaptive Strike. That's all they've got. All the rest of the abilities don't pose any threat to Bane. So if Bane gets off to a good start, and if they've practiced this strategy, playing around Bane, and they can get some good ganks off, that could give a lot of space for the Dro. And you know how Dro is. If she gets a good head start, she can take a really, really tough fight against even 2 carries in mid-game if she's strong enough. And Bane, just one of those heroes who can, if he's allowed to do a gang, he sleeps one, he grips one, and those 2 heroes around him are just going to wreak rampage while he's doing that. So, interesting choice, and I think Bane is a forgotten hero. I'm not sure if you agree with that, but I like to see this hero played.
Yeah, he is, well, he's a great hero. What you've managed to get yourself his ulti, which will hold him in place. You get the massive mind sap, which just keeps you in that lane as well. Like, he doesn't really need to go back. The fact that she picked up a healing star was surprising to me. I thought he would have actually gone for like clarities instead. So he actually uses a DPS kind of item. Not this case, he's got intel at least, so we'll keep that regen going. But I think you are right, like Bane Elemental is just one of those heroes that does get forgotten. There are a lot of course, heroes out there which can be picked up, and that's actually the cool way of the way the Dota is running at the moment. There are just so many options available. There are, of course, the trends. If I see another Syllabear this week, I'm probably going to get pretty pissed off. But like, it's just those things, like you do have those big options. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Dro Ranger actually does come off here. Haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, as well as Bane Elemental, which it looks like they're actually going to go Bane solo in the middle lane, Enigma neutraling, and this is the Scourge we're running through at the moment here. Top lane will be the tri-lane of Dro Ranger, Witch Doctor, as well as CM, with bottom lane being completely left alone for Morphling to free farm. Now, I've seen this before here, Sidra, and hopefully you can actually explain the whole logic behind this one of why you actually leave a bottom lane there for 1 carry to farm.
I'm not sure if that's the right decision that the Scourge have chosen to take right now. Perhaps they were expecting a tri-lane down on bottom. Oh, well, it is still a tri-lane for now. They're waiting down there. But the idea of putting Enigma in the woods instead is they know Enigma is going to struggle on that bottom lane against 3 heroes. So why even bother? They could just... Morphling would still get the farm. This way Enigma is sure to get some level. He's already got the level 2 in the woods. And those 2 supports of the Sentinel are just running around being completely worthless right now. So... It's an okay trade, but Enigma is actually one of those heroes that could take the 1-on-3 battle, converting his own wave to get the Sentinel wave pushed toward his own tower, and then he could farm there. But this is an option as well, and inspired by Asian teams that have done this before, and if GC are confident with this, then it's a completely viable strategy. Yeah, viable is a very used word these days, I'm aware. But oh, we've got a little bit of engage in mid. Now it's just a bit of a Nova coming out of that maiden, not too much follow-up. The Buzz was not in the move for a bit of killing there, no, not interested. And Tidehunter from Rokoko's Tidehunter has showed up in mid, so Sentinel realized that this Morphling is going to be solo down there. It took quite some time, and that because of that, both Vengeful Spirit and Tidehunter are level 1 and not even remotely close to getting their first level up. While up top, Witch Doctor decides to leave. He'll let Dro solo against that Venomancer. Pretty good decision. Dro has a 2-level advantage up there, and Venomancer should be in deep trouble. So we'll have a mirror in that respect. More free farming bottom.
Bit of trouble actually up on the top
and
lane.
Some action on that side. Just as I'm looking away, he's getting really low here. He has a flask though. He does have tangos. The flask comes off from Coco. He does have mana for one gush, but it gets the flask did get dispelled by that illusion, so he'll have to back off from this. So a good start for the Scourge on that one, even though they didn't sack the kill.
Yeah, actually going pretty nicely on that one too. Looks like Bane Elemental's having a little bit of trouble in the middle lane. Frost now going off, Magic Missile comes off. It's something on one of the illusions here of Witch Doctor. Stun goes bouncing on, CM comes down as well. Can they keep the pressure on? No, they can't. They're going to fall themselves back. Witch Doctor taking off the tower. Titan's coming in. One big Razor, 20 HP there on the Witch Doctor. Running up the high ground. Will manage to actually live it with Bane forcing that VS back. VS almost dying there. Nevermore down on very, very low HP as well. But everyone really sticking in nice and close. Are we watching a China match? There's only a China match is when people escape on that low HP. And Enigma finally goes bot lane too.
Yeah, Enigma has the opening. Now, see, this is why it's so perfect. Enigma's got that Soul Ring on level 4. Morphling also level 4 on bottom, so he only lost roughly half a level from being in the woods. He got the Soul Ring. Now Morphling is solo, and Enigma can show up down there and just farm the lane instead of the woods. So that was the whole point, and, well, GC executed it as they should, so that's all good for them.
Yeah, you're right, it has really, really paid off right now, and now Enigma can actually keep it up there against Bone 7, because he's got to be careful too, that with Enigma getting those extra levels from the side, and now
we might see some trouble up top now, though. Witch Doctor and Crystal Maiden have made their way all the way up there, and Gosu is getting low here. He's getting stunned by the Witch Doctor. One more Frost Arrow, first blood for Taishren here. Almost picks up the level 2, and Dro is having a really good time. She's got the Poor Man's Shield, boots, 21 CS, and Venomancer has 2 CS, so he's got a massive lead up top, this Ricky Martin Ogre Omni Knight shit guy.
We'll call him Mickey. We'll call him Mickey. Mickey is his name.
Call him Mickey, alright.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, that's what it's going to be.
But Bone 7's been having a bit of a hard time too. Like, you look at Morphling right now, he's 19 for 7 down there in the bottom lane. He's been free farming on that bottom lane until Enigma turned up, and even then Dro Ranger is still staying on top of him, so Bone 7 just not getting enough of those last hits, I think, that he actually needs.
Yeah, and now that Enigma picked up that level 5, he can put on a lot of pressure with conversion, and that, let's see, he's got conversion level 2 it seems. So he's got the stun level 3, the Malefice, which will stun the Morphling a couple of times, and during that period he can get all that harassment on with the Eidolon. So that casting that Malefice should force Morphling to use a waveform to get out of there. And seeing he has no mana reg, that could bring him down eventually, forcing him back to the base even, but now the support is going to show up down here. And Rococo's got a haste, he might even go for this, but it looks like Boat has already seen what's going on. He's staying behind confidently here, and well, yeah, so far so good for GC, I'd have to say.
He'll be fine. The convergence will be more than enough to actually hold that tower. I'm loving the aggressiveness coming in from the mid. Witch Doctor's actually dive past this tier 1 tower in the middle lane, harassing the SF back here, while CM and Bane now having a good on go. The Crow actually flies in there. Witch Doctor's not even going to come through, but Bane, little mind stabbing. Now off there it goes. SF should actually go down. More hits go through. CM gets the last hit. Bane is still getting hit by the tower. The bottle charge is firing off there just enough to keep him alive while the tower's being done. Bottom lane, while that's happening, Enigma's getting ganked by the 3 heroes down there on the bottom. So Coco takes the last hit there on Bote, but that is actually the kill going down 1 to 2, coming on through again. But finally, Hero's actually going on down instead of escaping. They're on 20 HP.
And now Shadow Fiend is going to have a really hard time on mid, because that Bane Elemental almost picked up his level 6 to get that Fiend's grip. And as mentioned, the Sentinel are really low on stuns and abilities. They've got the Venge Stun and Swap. Swap is miles away, he's only level 3. Tidehunter, miles away from level 6. So the only reliable stun they actually have to stun that Enigma once he ultis is the Vengeful Stun. So that should give the Buzz should have some really good options on the back of that one, and Shadow Fiend is just the target of choice.
Yeah, that he is, because now you just see Tidehunter just hanging around that middle lane. He can't get close enough to even get those levels at the moment. Looks like top, Frost, Veno, down, see him.
Just on the edge of it.
That's Sublime's second kill now. They're just like, I think Dro Rangers actually missed the last hit about 3